Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, where today I'm playing a scenario by Mszczuj. It's called Lack of Guns. Before I go into the scenario, be advised that I have 364 scenarios awaiting my attention in my mailbox. So by all means keep sending them, just keep in mind that it might be a while, if at all, that I get around to them. Now, this scenario is interesting. It says you almost finished your newest shiny battleship in one of the French shipyards. Unfortunately, German engineering wasn't able to deliver the main gun turrets under Allied bombs in time. You have to move by yourself to the fatherland. Some British cruisers attempt to stop you. Your goal is to design a big battleship with at least 8 15-inch guns, and then remove all turrets and try to break the blockade using only secondaries. Unfortunately, Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts does not allow you to remove all the guns. The game mandates that you always have some armament. And I can live with that. I think that's perfectly fine. I'll just turn them off. Now, I'm not going to go with a super battleship 1 or 2. I'm going to go with a modern battleship, so something slightly smaller. And let's say that it has about, 60,000 tons? It's a new shiny battleship, but it's not one of those behemoths. It's going to be slightly smaller. Now, a speed, let's see if I can get to 30 knots and still have the armament that I want. I'm going to set it to long range, maximum bulkheads. We are operating on Marine Diesel 2 engines with oil, 4 spoilers, and a turboelectric drive 1 and shaft 2. Double armor, or double hull. Let's go for heavy barbette armor thickness. Anti-flooding 3 and Citadel 4. I'm using a German ship, so I'll use light shells again with a propellant of 2 powder. Torpedoes, nope, I'm not going to have any torpedoes on this ship. It is a newest shiny battleship, according to the scenario, so I'll give it an improved radar rangefinder and a stereoscopic rangefinder 5. Acoustics, yes please. Advanced radio direction finding, electro-hydraulic turrets, and auto-loaders. Now, main armament, 8 15-inch guns, which I promptly have to turn off. So yes, I'll put them on the ship, but they're going to be there mostly for decoration. I'll have to survive and try and sink the enemy, which is consisting of 4 destroyers, 2 light cruisers, and 3 heavy cruisers, using nothing more and nothing less than my secondary armament. Or, and this is my own condition that was not added in the scenario, but I'm just going to add it myself. Or if I survive for an hour. That's my condition. Now let's set up some 8-inch secondaries. I'm hoping that this is going to properly persuade those cruisers to maintain their distance. The thing is, if I put an 8-inch secondary dual barrel in here, it's not going to be very maneuverable. Whereas if I go for a 7-inch... it doesn't fit at all. What the hell? Right, so it fits there. That's a 6. 7-inch. Look at that! This makes no sense. What the hell? That's weird. Alright. Change plans. 8-inch duals up front. Ideally somewhere more here, where I have a better rate of, or better direction of finding. Geez, speak English. Where they have a better field of fire. And then I'll put a triple 6-inch here. It's going to impact the 8-inch a bit, but not that bad. Another one over here. And ideally I would want another one over there, but that's going to be pretty tricky to pull off. Barbettes are a no-go on this one. Maybe put a funnel on it, by the way. What else? 5-inch. Oh, right, it's 4-inch for these. Yeah. 4-inch triples. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3-inch up there. Even up there. Wow. Okay. Anything smaller? No, the game doesn't really have any slots for 2-inch guns. Right, so not a lot of secondary armament. I will go with increased armament, so increased complement of ammunition. And I just hope that those 8-inch and 6-inch are able to do some work. Otherwise, I'm going to have a pretty big challenge on my hands. Because I simply don't have any main gun turrets. Now, since I'm fighting not so much at long range, but at medium range, I would want to be able to avoid torpedoes. Which means that I have to have a good displacement. Preferably good speed and ideally a good turning circle. It's currently 593. Whoops. 556. I could slow it down. 471. That's actually not too terrible. There is, however, one trade-off, and that's that I don't get to dictate the range at which we fight. And that's something I really don't like. Ideally, I always set the range. Because that way I determine when I can engage and when I can disengage. Whereas at 26 knots, let's say I'm fighting destroyers, which are very quick, I won't be properly able to disengage. Let's roll with this and see if I can make it work. I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to impact the ship a bit, because I'm adding weight. So with more weight, the ship will be heavier and more sluggish. Let's put some more armor on the secondaries. 15-inch on the turrets, 7.5-inch on the secondaries. Turret top, bit more. Let's put the conning tower very well protected, 17 inches. We're starting at 15,000 meters, which could, in the worst possible circumstance, mean deck penetrations. I'm very much hoping not. Just a bit too much. Alright, 7.4 it is. Okay. Well, I guess this is it. Effectively, against those light cruisers, I have my 6-inch guns and my 8-inch. Against the smaller stuff, I have the 4-inch guns, out to a range of 8.6, where they start to build accuracy at around 5. And I just really cannot get hit by a torpedo. But I probably will. And she does have anti-torp 3. I'd have to save 3,000 tons of armor or displacement somewhere. Nope, anti-torp 3 it is. Launch. Right, dive for 60 minutes. And or sink as many ships as possible. British ships from 1935. Stop firing. You're not allowed. Schleswig-Holstein. Which way are you guys traveling? My way. Right, well, I'm evading the British in this scenario. Which means I'm perfectly happy maintaining course and moving away from them. Because I wouldn't be surprised at all if those Brits are a lot faster than I am. One issue that I have with moving away is that my 8-inch guns... Oh, I was going to say they're not likely to fire, but they are. The starboard side. Yeah, they are able to fire, but only just. Interesting how one barrel seems to be in the process of reloading, and the other one seems to be slightly more elevated there. Alright, Brits, catch me if you can. Light cruisers seem to be already vaping in the background. Bad use. Oh, actually, no, it's not a light cruiser, it's a DD. Bad use of a smokescreen. I'm not even in range of these guys, nor am I targeting them. So, why exactly they're deciding to put smoke up here? I don't know. Wouldn't be my decision anyway. Oh, the heavy cruiser's opening up now. Although... No, that's a light. That's a light cruiser. Identification halfway through. Can we see a heavy? You might be a heavy, question mark? Really? Yeah. I imagine those are the heavy cruisers, seeing as they have 3 in this formation. 1, 2, 3. But it seems like the AI is putting 2 different formations through each other. And as such, this cruiser is being forced to turn. Now, I have the first bit of damage out on the heavy cruiser. Supposedly, so it's a light cruiser. Accuracy is only 1.5%, but I have 3,200 rounds on the 6-inch. Let's angle a bit more. I want to see if I can actually do damage with my 8 and 6-inch guns against them. I like how in this game the guns, which are currently turned off, the main armament, they're not even targeting the ship. They're not turning in the general direction of the target. Accuracy... dreadful. Really dreadful. Give me an identification on this ship. I want to see how fast it's going. And especially, I want to know if it's armed with torpedoes or not. Because I'm not seeing them. But I've been fooled by these things before. Accuracy is going up. 9.7. 8.6 range in the 4-inch. Not that I think a 4-inch is going to be able to do much against a light cruiser. My pen is about 4 inches. And that's without any buffs. This thing, however, has... wow, it has 5... let's say 5.6, 5.8 inches of belt armor. That's it. No torpedoes. Alright, in that case, I'm going to allow you to catch up to me. They're not a big threat. I just want to see if I can kill them off with the secondary armament. Their accuracy is really good. 22%. Minus about 1/10. As long as I can keep angling my armor and just face 6-inch guns, I don't really have much to fear. It's the heavy cruisers that could be a bigger threat, but they don't seem to want to get involved. Even if they are, I don't think they're packing big guns. Was that 7? 7-inch. No torpedoes either. 3-inch, tons of 2-inch. Yeah, but nothing really serious. Do we have an ID on the destroyers? Yeah. Wolsey, torpedoes, range 10-2. Range 12. So they're not a threat. They have done 0.6 damage and I have done 21. This is going to turn into a pretty dull fight. Hard starboard. Oh, these guys are smoking up again. Now the one good thing about these destroyers is that they are not terribly quick at 31 knots, which makes them easier to hit. About 2,000 tons of destroyer here. Torpedoes are in the stern. Ooh. 6-inch guns are doing work. Wow. Great work at that. Wolsey's going to slow down even more after having her engines damaged. Yeah, now she's smoking up. There goes my accuracy. They're still not in range of the 4-inch. And the light cruiser's doing loops again. Come on, guys. Do you really want me to come after you? Is that really how we're going to play this whole battle? Wolsey's on fire again. Tara should be in torpedo range at this point. We're going to have to keep a really close eye on her. Target Tara. Bingo. Fire. If I can get in range of the 4-inch guns from the Schleswig, I can start putting out a big volume of fire. That's 12 shells every 4 seconds. Just need to be in range. 8.6. I'm officially in range. Open up. 4% chance to hit. That's not even that bad. Look at this. 8-inch, 6-inch, 6-inch, 4-inch batteries. And of course we have 3-inch, but they're going to need to get even closer. Not the worst ship I've designed recently. This thing actually looks like something of a battleship, instead of a meme boat with just rows and rows and rows of guns. Tara seems to have some water on the ship. Oh, she torpedoed. Crap. Increase to full speed, make a turn to port. If I impact 2 different parameters, I'll be able to make my way away from the torpedoes. Because they're assuming that I moved at the same direction at the same speed. Buoyancy's going up and down? Up. Buoyancy's going up. Right now she seems to be winning the fight against the water. But not if we keep punching holes in that ship. Chatham, Concord, and Peyton are also coming in. And the heavy is just... I don't know. Goodbye. 27 knots only. Another fire. Standard amount of bulkheads. Not a terrible AI build this time. And the light... No, the DD is smoking up again. Yeah, it's the same old, isn't it? In a fight like this, you rush. You let the heavy cruisers whittle away that battleship, slowly, and you rush in with your destroyers. Allowing the destroyers to do as much damage with the torpedoes as possible, slowing the ship down even farther, the battleship, further, not farther. And by doing so, you allow your heavy cruisers to close in. And at closer range, please allow me to select that ship, at closer range, these 7-inch guns could be effective. Although, I have 15 inches of belt armor, so they wouldn't be able to penetrate the belt. But they would, at closer range, be able to penetrate the belt extended. Yeah, they should be able to do that. They need to get really close. But they do have a fairly good rate of fire. And then again, this is also another example of why I normally try and build my ships, especially my cruisers, with torpedoes. It makes them a bit more of a jack of all trades. Because if you don't have them, you just get a 7-inch gun cruiser. Which is... It's just slightly smaller than the light cruiser, but not by much. Or sorry, slightly bigger. Just 1 inch bigger. They're just really not that much of a threat. None of these guys are. I'm gonna try this again. Oh, come on. The guns are perfectly fine. Here, are you happy now? No? I don't know why the game's complaining all of a sudden. There. Launch. I want these guys to be a threat. I want them to come after me. With bigger guns and more effectiveness. Did you just build this? Oh. They did not build the same ship. That is 15 torpedoes per side. That'll keep the battle exciting. And we got another light cruiser gun build with torpedoes. The destroyers. Torpedoes crammed into the stern of the ship. 5 funnels. If the AI is investing that much in funnels, there is a good chance that these are really fast ships. Or the AI is throwing a fit again and just seeing how many funnels they can fit onto a destroyer. That is entirely possible as well. Now, let's see if the AI actually tries to make a push. This time around, the light cruisers are making a direct move for me. And the heavies are also coming my way. But the heavies are making it difficult for themselves to launch their torpedoes. With the light cruisers in the way, I don't think they want to launch at all. So I'm going to use that to my advantage and try and keep the light cruisers between myself and the heavies by turning back to port side. Because if I am going to be over here and the light cruisers keep pushing this way and the heavies keep going that way, then by the time that I'm here, the lights are there and the heavies are there, and they still can't hit me. Or at least they won't try and torpedo me. Notification is proceeding pretty quick. I'm mostly interested to see when these light cruisers are going to drop off those torpedoes. If they haven't already. Because that launcher looks to be exactly forward facing. It might not be perfectly forward, but it's definitely not far off. Alright. 8-inch... Oh, there's the torpedoes. Considering that they're visible, I'd say that these might be standard torpedoes. If they were fast torpedoes, they might not even be in range yet. If they were electric torpedoes, I wouldn't see them. And if they were oxygen torpedoes, I would probably see them, but not yet. Let's see if I'm correct on that. Are these, in fact, standard torpedoes? Torpedo type, 20-inch. Electric... No, sorry, electric torpedo. Yeah, electric turrets, but standard torpedo propellant. Correct. And this is exactly where I want to be. If you look at this line, you can see that I'm here, the light cruisers are there, and the heavy cruisers, with those 15 tubes per side, are not in a position to attack me. So as much as they would like, they simply can't engage. Somebody else has, however. There's a torpedo in the water. And another single one over there. Let's make another turn. I'll easily avoid this one. This one might need a small course change. We're trying to take down the Adelaide. Using... Oh, there we go. That's the single launchers. We're using the 4-inch, the 6-inch, and the 8-inch against the Adelaide. And she's slowly but steadily starting to feel the effects. And she just dumped another set of torpedoes in the water, this time from a starboard launcher. Do we have identification on those destroyers yet? No, not yet, but we do have them on the cruisers. In 9.9 kilometer range, 62.5 knots, those are fast torpedoes. Yeah. So you guys are definitely not in range. But I don't feel confident trying to dance with those things. That's not something I want to party with. I get close to that, I get a mouthful of 15... No, what is it? Not 15-inch torpedoes. 21-inch torpedoes, 15 per side. 3-inch are almost in range. I just don't know if the 3-inch are going to be capable of doing much. Pen, at about 5,000 meter range, is 5.8. Well, that's enough. I'll be able to penetrate the belt armor. Not the turret, but the belt armor should not be a problem. 3-inch guns against the light cruiser. And again, for the longest time, I'm trying to keep these guys between myself and the enemy. Well, the more dangerous enemy in the form of those torpedo cruisers. Light cruisers are coming back. So time for me to make another turn, otherwise these might get some pretty bad ideas. Destroyers. Torpedo type, fast, range 10. Crap, it launched another torpedo at me. 2 sets. So that's one from the Penelope and one from the Adelaide. Let's keep maneuvering. I think the armor on the Holstein is a bit too much. I'm not even sure if the lights and the heavies have any kind of chance, unless they use the torpedoes. We are getting burned down a bit. Look at all these impacts. The whole hull is going to be puckered with impacts. Looks like they're not actually doing that much damage. Structural integrity is down to 99%. And I've taken 177 hits, but for a grand total of 5 damage. That's it. Whereas my guns have done 439. Sorry. Yeah, 439. Let's see. We got a torpedo here. That cluster has passed. All guns, target Penelope. Accuracy in these guns is great. 8%, 8%, 7.5%. Fire on the Penelope. Penelope has few bulkheads, but she still has torpedoes, and she's eager to show me. Another one in the water. Back to port. The other light cruiser is still between myself and the heavies are now in range. But I don't think they're eager to launch, because they risk sinking the Adelaide themselves. Penelope's vaping, trying to save her life. I'm not sure if that smoke screen is going to be enough, though. Another torpedo. Set, in fact. At this point, the Adelaide is no longer between myself and Theseus. I have to keep a very close eye on Theseus. I'll see those torpedoes coming. Another set. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get out of the way in time. Steady course. I'm going to speed up a bit. 18.4, 18.5, 18.6... Theseus, very much in range now. Now, I'm doing some damage against their ships, but it's not deadly. It's slowly taking them apart. There's another salvo. No, not a salvo, a single torpedo. Theseus, what is your objection to launching, I wonder? Range 9.9. 7 clicks out. That's all I am. I'm not that far away. Oh, look, finally. Penelope looks to be taking flooding damage. It's in 3 compartments. And she's filling up pretty quick. Buoyancy 40%. Another compartment just got punctured. Most of the damage probably coming from the 8-inch. No, the 6-inch. Interesting. Alright, that's one light cruiser less to worry about. New target, Adelaide. Looks like the ship just did get one more torpedo off just before she went down. Theseus still not looking to fire. At least this time around it's a bit more interesting because they're keeping me on my toes. I have to maneuver. Adelaide taking a flooding and a hit to her rudder. Which guns are doing that? Because I very much doubt it's the 3-inch. It's the 4-inch. The 4-inch guns are punching holes in this ship quickly. That's 6 clicks out. Yeah, I can penetrate about 5 inches of armor, give or take a few. And the torpedo in the water. Is that your... Yeah, that's your salvo. Fine. I'll dance around another one. This is why I went with a smaller battleship for this one. The first reason was to keep it more interesting, because I don't want to be building huge battleships every single video. And the second reason is, by doing it this way, I'm also having a smaller ship. Which means that, yes, they have a chance to torpedo me, because I don't kill them off with secondaries very quickly. But also, the ship is much more capable of evading those torpedoes. And I'm still sticking to the point that the heavy cruisers should have rushed in. Because as it is right now, they are just making it very easy. If two light cruisers and 3 heavies had rushed me, 1 heavy cruiser there, 1 here, everyone sends 15 torpedoes at me, I'm toast. I might have a torpedo blister on this ship, torpedo protection 3. And yes, it will be able to sustain a few hits. But definitely not 15. And that's just in case 1 actual full torpedo salvo lands on the ship. Another problem that I would have with that is that it wouldn't just be flooding of 2 compartments, it would probably be flooding of 6, maybe 7 compartments. Damaging the rudder, damaging propulsion, and just making me a sitting duck against further torpedoes. Now once again, I'm trying to keep the light cruiser Adelaide between myself and the heavies. But the Adelaide is going to go down. Schleswig-Holstein is, well, 93%. There goes Adelaide. That means that the Theseus, Nelson, and Crescent don't really have an excuse anymore as to why not to launch their torpedoes, especially at a range of 6.3. I'm going to have to keep a real close eye on the lead ship, the Theseus. The moment she launches, I'm going to make a drastic turn to port. And I want to see if I can actually do damage against her. 9.9 inches of belt armor. Torpedoes in the water. Big spread. Come to port. I don't know if I can damage the Theseus. The 8-inch guns? Probably. Oh shit, Nelson also launched. I'm damaging a destroyer, right? Yeah, Vigo has taken some damage. Target Theseus. In a perfect world, I would target the 8-inch versus the heavy cruisers and the smaller armaments against the destroyers. But the 4-inch guns are not even in range yet. So it doesn't really matter. Now these guys reload in 750 seconds, which is about 12.5 minutes. So for the next 12.5 minutes, I don't have too much to worry about. Unless the Crescent decides to pitch in. And also starts lobbing torpedoes at me. For now, she's not, and I'm almost out of range. Just to verify, there are no torpedoes heading directly for my ship, right? Because that would be one way to ruin a good battleship very quickly. Just overlooking torpedoes. I'm not seeing them. Theseus is taking minor damage. If I'm going to kill her, I'll probably have to get closer. I am, however, starting to take some more damage. And I know that I'm still doing full speed. This is intentional to make sure I can still get away from these heavy cruisers. And all of those 15 torpedo barrages that they send out. I'm not eager to keep too much in range. Especially as the destroyers are also going to pitch in with another 9 torpedoes each. So I think I'm just going to keep a distance. And if I can survive for another 9 minutes, I win the scenario. And unless the enemy suddenly grows a brain and starts rushing me with all of their ships, I don't foresee much of a problem. Any chance I can target the destroyer? Maybe. Chances of hitting are pretty bad though. Well, no. 4.5% and 3.8%. Nice, look at them. Wow. What hit you? An 8-inch shell. Mid-belt. Penetration. Paladins down. Whoa. That was impressive. Can we do that again? Yep. She's getting hit. 6-inch guns. What's my main damage dealer? The 6-inch. And I don't have that many more of those than I have of the 8-inch. Because this ship has... What did I put on her again? Dual 8s? And triple 6s. So it's 2 barrels of an 8 and 6 barrels of a 6-inch. Yeah, okay, that will allow the ship to do more damage with the 6-inch. 3 minutes left. Another fire. Another fire. A few bulkheads on a destroyer. I could pretty much get behind that. I wouldn't put too many bulkheads on the destroyer myself. Because I think it's not that valuable on a DD. Funnel destroyed. Why do you need 5 funnels if you're trying to get 36 knots? Maybe they're not going with forced boilers or something. Another fire. Surprised I haven't caused any flooding yet. Speaking of flooding, I think I'm pretty much home free for torpedoes. Yeah, 9.9. Alright, so I'm calling this one a win. Reason being, the AI is not really making an effort to try and sink me. Sure enough, they sent some torpedoes my way. But with a bit of maneuvering and just predicting where they were going to be and how they were going to try to launch, so keeping the light cruisers between myself and them, I was perfectly able to keep those torpedoes away from the Schleswig-Holstein. Interesting scenario. Thank you for sending it in. If you have a scenario of your own that you want to send in, by all means, do so. Link down below in the description. I don't take any more scenarios in the comment section with the exception of Tuesday videos. That's where I allow them. That's for the Taskmaster Tuesday scenarios. Those are smaller scenarios, but the regular ones, link down below in the description. And in the description you will also find a link to my Patreon page. Patreon is a way for me to make sure that I can keep doing what I'm doing by getting some support from you guys. And it's pretty much crowdfunding your YouTube channel. So if you have a $1 or $2 to spare per month, then you would really help me by just going over to Patreon and becoming a Patreon supporter. And by doing that, depending on your tier of course, you can also get your name listed down below in the description. Now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the defense of the Schleswig-Holstein and her successful joust against the destroyers and the heavy cruisers and the lights. I enjoyed it, and I shall see you guys soon for another video.